Hi everyone. I've been sitting here at my desk wondering, something's missing with my Valentine stuff. I really need something. And I think it might be a gnome. I always need more gnomes, and I really don't have enough of them for Valentine's. So since I've already made with you guys some gnomes that were for Christmas, I figured I'd make some gnomes for Valentine's Day. I'm not going to describe every last little bit of it because everything is almost the same except for the little hats. So I will do the hat part with you and describe that, but everything else, go ahead and check out my Christmas gnomes video, and I'll leave that up above as well as in the description down below. So let's get to it. Again, these are the materials that I'm going to use. A white sock, a decorative sock, some rice in a little plastic baggie. It could be any kind of bag, Ziploc bag, whatever. I have this scarf that I might use a little bit of from the Dollar Tree. I have some blush, some little rubber bands. They don't have to be hair bands. They could be any little rubber band, and some felt for the hat. I have different little heart ribbon that I could use. And for the beards this time, I'm going to use this big Free Spirit ombre thread yarn that's just real chunky. It's usually what you would use to make a blanket using your hands, or a scarf or whatever, but I thought this would be fun. So I'm gonna use that, and of course some hot glue. Anyway, I'm gonna get started and enjoy. Now for the hat on this little girl one that I'm making, I'm going to put her on the long edge of the felt. I'm going to cover up the nose and go around and cover the nose again, and leaving myself about a half an inch. I'm going to make a mark right there at that edge. Right there. And then I'm going to decide how tall I want her hat to be. If I want it to be really tall or just little, which I'm thinking probably about to here. So with that, I'm going to take this middle section, and you can always measure between and try to get the middle. So for me, this is about 8.5 inches. So I'm going to want 4.25. So I'll take it up to that point till I get to 4.25 from my 8.5. So about there, and I can make a mark there. And then essentially I'm going to be cutting out a triangle from one point to the next, and that point to that point again. If you need to draw a line, you can. I'm just going to eyeball it myself. Now, since you've already accounted for your overlap, you won't have to worry too much about it not fitting. But I put her little nose down. Again, I'm going about halfway over her nose with the hat, folding it over and then over again. And it's going to tuck under. You're going to have a point at the in the start, but you'll trim that off to being flush. So then you can tell that there's the overflap there for gluing. So you could take it off at this point. Make sure you have your overflap just like that, and glue it that direction. So it's about 1/2 inch. And once you get to this point, you can either trim off this extra piece or just add a little dab of glue and fold that over as well. And at this point you can tell your pointed side. And I like to leave it a little longer than the front so that I have more to tuck down. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it at kind of like a half circle or just a little bowed curve here. There. Now her hat is finished, and I can put it on her. Because the rice squishes around, you'll have to kind of push her in there a little bit. Once you get it to where it is covering part of the nose, you're going to pull that back, put a little bit of glue on the top of her nose, glue that top part in place so that it's definitely covering the top part of the nose, because you won't be able to see her eyes. You don't want obviously you don't have any eyes under there, but you want the illusion that there might be eyes under there. So you're just covering the nose to make sure that it looks right. And then you're going to glue around the back. Well, I hope you enjoyed seeing me make these cute little Valentine gnomes. I can't wait to find a place for them in my home. If you like what you saw, please leave the video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Until then, be creative.